So today we're talking to Paul Kowacz on the Bunker, and Paul is a guitar player. He plays in multiple bands, but two main bands, 333 and the Red Baron Band. He's also a very active vinyl collector and trader on the Czech market, but he buys vinyls from all over the world and sells to all over the world. And we actually recording this in his vinyl store, which has 6,000 different vinyls from all over the world. And he told me, he was born into communism in the Czech Republic, where music was not something that was flowing very freely. So he told me about how there was tape trading. People were copying vinyls onto tapes and then multiplying them and selling and distributing among friends. And that created some sort of a camaraderie or a friendship and connection to the community. And what was good and bad about communism? Not many good things, but the tape trading was a good thing because it created a connection between people that shared a passion for music. He told me about how he fell in love with music, what music it was, why the vinyl is interesting, what is it about that format that makes it fascinating, and how this works. Where does he get this stuff from? What is valuable? Why is Japanese? Why are Japanese albums so valuable? Japanese people apparently treat their albums very nicely and use quality material for them. And a little bit about how COVID has affected his music, what he's recording now. He just finished, one of his bands finished recording with a famous rock guy from the classic rock era. You'll hear more about that on the episode. But that's, for me, when he told me that, wow, that's serious stuff. We couldn't say the name of the person because of legal issues. Sounds great. And then we talked about if rock and roll is dead or, what is happening to it. So I hope you'll enjoy. And the sponsors, that's Alfred.cz, Alfred Jobs in the App Store. You can find new jobs, apply with one click. You're anonymous. It's free to use. Thousands of jobs, new jobs every day. And you only see the jobs that are interesting to you. You don't have to browse through thousands of bullshit jobs to find the real proper job for you. And then the Oat Bar Prague on Cyfertowa 21 in Žižkov, close to the main train station and Vinohrady. And perfect place for a quick grab and go. Oatmeals, skiers, healthy goodies made in-house, coffee, great atmosphere, amazing service, nice girls, nice guys. And you can order also on Volt or Bolt and get it delivered home, or you can drop by for a quick takeaway or sit in quickly. Enjoy.
Wow! Looks and bruises worry my mind and suffocate my soul.
Okay, Paul Kowacz, welcome.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah? Kowacz, when I saw your name, I thought it was Polish.
No, it's this is Arctic name. My real name it's still Kowacz. Kowacz, but right in the Slovakian language, it's mean the smith. It's old name, but
Like a smith, like a...
like
So
using
you're
hammer.
You're Paul Smith.
Paul Smith. And but we have on the Czech scene guitar player who is also Kowacz. So I try to make a little bit different to how to write my name. And also it was on the old days in my band, Red Baron Band, before first record. So our drummer have some idea like we should have some artistic names, like I don't know, Ringo Starr had or Bob Dylan had, and lot of people. So we changed the name, and I didn't like this idea much. So I said like, okay, so normally in the Czech language I'm Pavel, it's mean Paul, so I will be Paul, and I am Kowacz. So I try to write different, kind of, I don't know, Polish baron or something, and everyone in the band changed the name, but after I don't know 2-3 years they changed back to Czech names. And I still have it.
You're stuck with it.
But it wasn't my idea, and I don't really like it. But
But it was interesting because I actually the way that I found you is that I started recollecting vinyl albums, and then found out that you're the vinyl dealer, the vinyl pusher here in Prague, or one of them. But and then, when I saw your name, I was like, it's a Polish guy. And then Paul, I was thinking, okay, there's an interesting thing. But so now I got the story behind that. But so you do the vinyls, but you also have bands, right? And you mentioned that, the Red Baron.
Red Baron band, it's the oldest band. So I play in some bands before the Red Baron. But
and you play guitar? Yes.
But this is my, like child, because we started in 1993. It's a really long
28
time.
years.
Yes,
29 this year.
And first album we did in the 2000, but we prepare like I don't know from 1999. So this was the beginning of our recording history.
And that's. What type of music is that? That's like kind of like a classic rock.
So me and our drummer Radek, so we grew up on the bands like Beatles, Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, Black Sabbath. This 60s, 70s music. But we felt more be in the 70s kind of rock. So this is the style what we playing, but I think Red Baron it's more open. It's not only like classic rock. We have some folk music, acoustic music stuff. We have some blues influence stuff. We also have some progressive stuff, and
it's more of a mix.
More mix. Because we listen a lot of stuff like I don't know, Frank Zappa, Genesis.
There's a lot of influences.
Yes. So it's really a mix of everything.
But you have other bands as well. I mean, you have...
So I'm playing on the other band. It's called 333, 333, and it's more blues, soul stuff, but also sometimes a little bit rock. So
I saw you play. Actually, I came to there is this legendary place here in Prague called the Wagon. So anyone visiting Prague that wants to go and see good rock music, then go to Wagon. It's in the city center, and your band. I came to see you play there, and it was very kind of guitar driven rock music. I really liked it. It was really, and it's it's your own music. It's not like you're playing covers from others. But in 333 you do some covers, right?
Yeah, this is the band who play only covers. But the covers usually it's different from original
version.
So we try to a little bit make like different way.
To give it its own style. But you're almost as old as me. There is 1 year between us. So that basically means that you're born and raised under communism.
Yes.
And where was that? Which part of the Czech Republic were you?
So I was born in the capital city Prague, and in the 1974. So I remember the bad thing from communism really well. There was also some good side, but I don't like to be back in the communism. But some good side was like we will maybe talk about this later. But for example, everything was under like censorship, and you can finally easy find some music or something. So you should be friend with other guys and sharing the music and stuff. And this was a little bit, like adventure.
Yeah, it creates a community somehow.
Yes. So this was interesting because in these days you can find this kind of friendships so easily.
Yeah.
So this communism, it's a really negative thing, but this was the good side because he was like in the underground still, and
Don't you think that was so? Now, when you say this, I think about it that because older people here, maybe like our parents' age, let's say 65 to 85 or something like that, they still have this. They get their snaps, slivovitse from someone that they know that makes it at home. They make sausages or whatever. Like there's still this, which is kind of probably, you had this under communism because of the limited, like you said, the censorship and limited business and limited product availability. Then people actually just found a way. Somehow they created this sub-communities.
Yes.
And that means friendships.
Yes, that means friendship. And also, everything was changed. So it wasn't internet and other things. So we have in the beginning one TV program and in the 80s two programs,
Yeah.
So, and I remember from childhood, like you can watch the TV from, I don't know, 10 o'clock morning to 12. Then was like
A break.
And starting around, I don't know, 4 or 5 o'clock and ending on the 10 o'clock evening.
Yeah.
So it was really strange. For example, the restaurants was closed around 9 or 10 o'clock evening. So you can go to the beer and drink whole night, and many things like that. It was really strange. So.
But on the negative sides, I mean, like if you think about it, like, I mean, obviously it's not positive that you cannot travel unless you get a license. All these things.
Yes, and also you can say what you meaning. You should be careful with who is the person
you're talking to.
You talking
and what
to.
you're saying. Yeah, because I mean, for those who don't know, then in countries like here in the Czech Republic, there was for every 5 citizens, there was maybe one spy or someone who had, was there to inform the government about what was going on.
Yes.
And I remember I have a friend our age. They went to Austria or something traveling, and when they came back, they were taken in for interrogation to who did you speak to and all this, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, today you also need to be very careful about what you say, because every second word you say is to piss off someone who is gay or trans or whatever,
Yes.
We're coming a full circle here.
Yeah, that's true. And the whole situation, it's really crazy, and we don't know what will be in the future. But I'm thinking like because I have this this experience from my communism childhood, and so I was 15 when was the Velvet Revolution. So I'm thinking like if it's everything go really wrong, like because nobody knows what will be. So I'm prepared to be in the underground again.
Yeah, you know how to do it.
Yes, I know how to do it, and I'm not scared from that. But I don't want it, But
you're ready for it if you have to.
Yeah. So because I am the man who still want to create something. So if I can have the chance to in the future to create something, so I can record my music at home, play to some closer friends, but still I can do something which will be outside from me and makes me happy
Yeah.
in some way.
But it's interesting that you say this. I mean, obviously now, because I have recorded many episodes here with a lot of people from here and a lot of people around our age that have some. This is a very interesting point to see it, that you know how it is to be underground
Yes.
from that time, and that it's crazy that there are people around the world who are saying we should bring back communism because then everybody will have a better life. And the people who are asking for it are the people who are not capable of creating anything for themselves. They can't create any value. They can't do anything.
Yes.
So they want somebody else to take care of them.
Mm-hmm. So I don't want to bring the back communism.
No, I know you don't want to bring it back. But
And, or any other kind of totality.
But so you told me once when we were chatting that you are more on the kind of right when it comes to politics.
Yes.
Isn't that something that kind of happened here, that left is nobody wants to be on the left because of communism?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody went. So for left here is still right where I come from in Iceland. You know what I mean? It went all the way to the other side.
Yeah, but we have a party like communism parties still, and it's very left. Or
but they don't get any votes.
Or pirates, they are, I think, also go to left and on the really strange, or it's kind of new left, but I think it can be really dangerous. The way how they see the world.
Why or how?
Because they thinking like they don't live in the real world, They thinking like they are in some saloon communism, some maybe nice idea, but it's very
doesn't work out in
utopic,
reality. Yeah.
Utopic, And for example, I'm living on the Prague 7, and they are leading this part of Prague, and what they starting to doing with the traffic and where you can parking and stuff like that. It's really boring. It's not helpful for people.
And not practical.
Not practical. But they thinking they did really good job. And this is the dangerous, because they told you like you should thinking like that.
But it's interesting because I think for me the pirates were some way when it started, they were refreshing, and I liked that what they focused on digital and that that we should use let's say technology for the government and to make things easier, to make it easier to vote. I mean, if we think about, for example, voting now.
Yeah, but they didn't
do any of it.
Yeah, so
then it was just talking about parking spots.
Yes. That's I told you I'm a more right voter, but I don't believe any politics because what I saw after Velvet Revolution, so everyone lie.
Yeah, everyone stole money.
Everyone stole money, and it's only decision between the bad and really bad for me.
But that's actually like, because you were saying under communism, you create these communities. And obviously, you created those communities also amongst the politicians and the secret police and all the people who were in government. Those communities continued after communism.
Yes.
And of course, they just take care of each other. And if you have thousands of people or hundreds of thousands of people who are trained in I don't know, knowing everyone's secrets, when they lose their job, what can they do? Okay, I know some secrets. I'm gonna try to make business out of those secrets. I can start telling this person, I'll tell your secrets unless you pay me or you get me in on this business. So I think a lot of this came out of those communities somehow. Yeah, maybe pirates are just people who can't afford cars, so they don't like parking spots.
Maybe, but they have strange background also. So
yeah, there is something now here with the Czech pirates that they have been getting money from some company in Cyprus, and they cannot explain. Or no, that's the mayors in the Stan.
yeah. So I didn't watch the last 2 weeks
The news.
But they have some kind strange of background, like like ultra left. And so on.
Yeah. Anyway, so you mentioned it that there was this kind of a community because during communism, and I think that's when you start getting interested in music. I mean, you're when is it that you start listening to music?
Oh, very young. I remember my mother had some turntable and some singles. And I don't know how old I was, 6, 7. I don't remember, but I start to listen to these small records like myself without the parents. Like I start to play these small records, and we had not too much, but some. International records like double album from Beatles, for example, because my uncle goes to the Canada in the 1969 when the Russian comes to the Czech Republic.
Yeah, 68, 69, the Russians come here to push down the revolution, and then a lot of people left. Yeah,
they goes first to the Austria and then to the Canada, and they are living there till now. And so they send us some records, but it was like 5. It wasn't too much. But there was the double album Beatles called Rock and Roll Music, and it was every fast Beatles songs, including stuff like Helter Skelter, which is very heavy. Is very heavy. So, and there was songs like Rock and Roll Music and Kansas City and this stuff, and I really like it because it was really powerful and great singing, and so I felt a really good vibration from this record. So this is the first what I remember really, and after. My father bought from West Germany the radio system. It was Sony FH5, and it was amplifier, radio, and tape.
Yeah.
And in these days, when you want to buy something like that, you can go to shop and buy it because you can buy it.
Nobody has it.
Nobody has it. So you should know someone who working sometimes in the West, some West country. I don't know, some diplomat or some.
Yeah, for some big company, for Skoda or something.
Someone, and these people. Bringing this stuff, and it was illegal, and they bringing this stuff. You should pay them some profit, and they bring you what you like to buy. And so my father bought this Sony system, which he said it cost 1,000 mark. and it was like you should working more than 1 year
To pay it.
to pay it. You know.
That's crazy.
Yes, but this is how the people in the communism era have some important things, because you can buy this stuff. So you dream it and you work it hard to have something like that. So he bought this system, and I start to listen to some tapes, and
But how was that, Paul? Because one thing is to have something to play it with, and then another thing is to get the music.
Yeah. So I had friends which have some tapes, and we are sharing. It's like
Copying from each
copying from each other, or friends to friends. It was a real adventure, and I remember, for example, I start to love a band called Queen, and I had one record, which was Queen Works. Now I know it's not the best record from Queen.
But it's the record that you had.
Yeah, but it was first record what I had, and this, I don't know, like 12 or 13 album from them, and then I start to searching for some Queen records and asking the friends, "Do you have something?" And someone says, "Okay, I have." And he bring me the tape, and there was two another records, but from 70s, and it was really different, And it wasn't internet, it wasn't any information on the Czech
market. You couldn't read anything about it.
So you don't know how many records they record, how the musicians have names or
or even if you didn't even know it was the same band members.
Yes,
they could have changed band members. And you wouldn't know.
No, exactly, and it was really hard to find some information. So of course you can buy some book and encyclopedia, but they put on the market some kind of encyclopedia. I don't know, 10 years ago, and they didn't print again. So if you don't find it on some, I don't know, second shop with the books, so
then you can't find it. But how? So basically, this creates these communities where people are tape trading. Because I listened to this podcast once that's called Wind of Change, and it's about the Scorpions. So there's this theory that the Scorpions were CIA. That CIA created the song Wind of Change to help take down the Soviet Union. That the song was supposed to become popular, and the lyrics are all about the things are changing, there's a brighter future ahead. And it became huge in Russia and in the Soviet Union. And one of the theories about this was that Scorpions were always allowed to tour. They were touring. They were in Hungary. They were touring countries that other Western bands couldn't go. So that's. I mean, it's a great podcast and it's really, really interesting. But in that podcast they talk about this tape trading as an industry, that people were smuggling tapes in and out of the country. Was it ever like a business? Did you ever pay anyone for a tape? Or
yes, if you have friends, so we sharing, but there was like professional guys who usually they doing like we have like black markets, where people selling some records from West. It was really expensive, because usually one record costs around 300 crowns, and
which is like now 15 euros or something, 10, 12 euros?
No, because you work one and usually you got around 2,000 or 3,000 crowns.
Okay, so it's 10% of your monthly salary for one record.
Yes, and it was really expensive for people, because they should pay rent and other stuff. So usually some people doing like they go to black market, buy one record, for example, I don't know, Iron Maiden. They come to home, record it 20 tapes,
And
sell it, and another man go to black market and buy, for example, 2 records, and this sold this Iron Maiden, and buy 2 new ones, and they,
keep it going, but so it becomes a business. But was that illegal? I mean, and
it was illegal, and police goes usually to black markets, and everybody, running away. And
Really?
Yeah, really, I remember. It was crazy.
So that's like drug dealers in Copenhagen. They have these tables with all the marijuana that you want, and then the police comes and they just put it in their pocket and run away.
Yeah, so it was same.
And what would have happened to you if you were caught with, I don't know, like if the police would come to your home and they would find 100 Western albums in your home?
So probably they ask you where you get the money and where you get the records, and you should set some good story if you want to survive.
Because they could take you and put you to jail without any reason, right? Or for 2 days or something.
Yeah, so they can put you to the jail if you don't have
Can explain it.
How do you get it,
or you pay them under the table some black money
maybe
for leaving.
But they I think it's too hard to give them money, because there was still more people watching
them. There were spies looking after the police.
Yeah.
But how? So I guess with this, because now, obviously, when you have a market or something where, like in this case, the music is not flowing freely and the information is not available, you don't know you actually don't know what music is available. Like you mentioned with Queen, you have this album, but you don't know any of the previous stuff.
Yes.
So does that album, for example, because that is your first Queen album, it means more to you than it might mean to anybody else, because that's the album that you had.
Yes, but not in the Queen example. But for example, Genesis, I first heard the album Wind and Wuthering, which is with Phil Collins album, and every hardcore Genesis fan told you like the real Genesis is with Peter Gabriel. But I still like this album the most because it was first, and for me it's great album, and so was first and very influential.
Yeah, influential
for me.
Because I had this. When I was a kid, I used to go to this farm to work in the summer, and then, we took with us tapes. You take some. We had this Sony Walkman cassette player that we could drive around in the tractor and listen to some music, and it was really interesting because I was very influenced by the music that the other guys. There were 2 other guys working in the farm, and we came there in the spring, and everybody brought 5-6 tapes, and for me it was so much about the availability, because and we had the same. I mean, Iceland, sometimes when I describe Iceland, it sounds like a communist country. We had 2 radio stations, and we had no television on Thursdays and no television in July, so you didn't have so much other stuff. And then, for example, this guy brought Megadeth and King Diamond and some Spanish rock band called Barón Rojo, who I have never heard anyone talk about and never heard anyone speak about. But I really like it. But I like it because for 3-4 months, I listened to it non-stop every single day.
Yeah.
So, and I often think about, would you like this Genesis album if you were hearing it for the first time today?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't know, but
it wouldn't have that special place for you.
Maybe, yeah. the old records, what I know from my early days, I, like you, I listen many times, so I know every note.
Yeah.
And this makes kind of special because you know everything about the record.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say if or like this. In these days, it's not too much records which really catch my heart.
Nowadays, yeah,
Yes.
in modern times, yeah.
Yeah. So usually it's one or two per year, which from some new music which really catch me. And I'm still going to music history, finding some unknown bands from 70s, which is more surprised me than the new stuff. So it's like this.
Yeah, but I think that's for somehow for everybody. Like we are so shaped by the music that we listen to when we are teenagers and when we're kind of, I don't know, growing into knowing what we like. And I often think about it, if I would hear, I don't know, like Iron Maiden, for example. I heard them, I think I was 9 years old or something when I heard them the first time, and I really liked them. But I don't know if I would hear them today, if it would be the same feeling, Probably not. But I will always like them. It's an interesting thing, and yeah, maybe it's about part of it is being a teenager, and you have the hormones and all that bullshit.
Have you ever been to the wonderland? Have you ever seen
So what are the main, like, the bands that you were listening to as a teenager and shaping your music taste? What was the kind of the main names?
Okay, so the first really big name was Beatles. This was really, really big for me. I should say also I listened some Czech folk, some folk singers because they had really good lyrics. And then,
But you're a guitar guy. You shouldn't care about lyrics. You just want to do a solo.
yeah, but Bob Dylan is famous by the lyrics.
Yeah, true.
And the other band was Queen. Sorry. Other band was Pink Floyd. Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, Frank Zappa. Lucifer's Friend. It's a German band with English singer who sang in the Uriah Heep. Or Grand Funk Railroad.
Yeah.
It was other.
So these are the main.
This was the main bands, but I quickly started to listen a lot of stuff from this time period. So I listen other stuff like I don't know, Iron Butterfly and Frampy and many stuff. But this was the first bands. Maybe Black Sabbath. The old Black Sabbath.
But you start playing guitar yourself. Is that around this time?
So I started around when I was 14. It was a little bit late because my parents didn't have some music instrument at home, and
no music in the family.
No, they wasn't be interested about the music really. But I felt like this is really interesting. First I saw in my classroom in the school the bandmate Milan. He played on the guitar, and every girl's
were interested,
looking to him, and I started to feel like, this is interesting.
This is a clever way.
And my older brother gave me the first guitar. He was the guitar player,
Mm.
but he didn't live in with us because he was much older than me.
Mhm.
So I didn't.
Have it in the home.
Yeah, so I
Mhm.
didn't saw it. The playing and the
Mhm.
passion for playing. So everything goes from
Yourself.
me, from myself. Like I like to play something, and first I remember the first thing when I have the guitar. So I didn't start to learn some song like first thing, but
Mm.
I start to uh, make some first lick guitar,
Your own.
my own,
Mhm.
and start to be like, "Hey, Mama, listen, I wrote this."
Yeah.
This was first what I remember. So I in the beginning I start to be, composer.
Yeah. You wanted to make your own.
Yes.
But those bands that you mentioned, like the Deep Purple, Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin. I mean, we're talking about some of the most legendary guitar players of all times. I mean, like Jimmy Page, Richie Blackmore. I mean, and Tommy Bolin, and then Steve Morse with Deep Purple. Who else was there? It was just those, right? Yeah.
So in the
Tommy
Deep
Bolin,
Purple
yeah.
was also short period
Satriani.
Joe Satriani.
But these are like, and then Tony Iommi in Black Sabbath, and then Jimmy Page in Led Zeppelin. So these are very kind of, how do you say, colorful guitar players. They are this music is very much about them. If you look at the Beatles, the Beatles are less about the guitar. Maybe it's more about the whole harmony of the band and the melody and
it's about the songs.
yeah.
More. And
But you like the guitar because it made noise, and the girls like it.
no. So the guitar, it's powerful gun because you can make noise,
Yeah.
but also you can make some really quiet acoustic stuff.
Mm.
So I like the guitar. It's have a very lot of colors. You can
It's very white.
very wild, from really soft and nice sounds to very dangerous sounds, and you can be like a really good painter if you want.
Yeah.
So
Who is a dangerous guitar player? Who makes the most dangerous sounds?
it's hard to say because we can talking about some heavy metal stuff, but for me it's not every time the most distortion. It's most wildest. Very dangerous in some ways was, for example, Jimi Hendrix, because if you thinking about when he started to play, nobody play like that.
Like him, yeah.
It was like when the alien came
To Earth.
to Earth, because it was really crazy and strange and psychedelic and everything. So this was really big revolution, I think. I don't know who is the dangerous.
no, but I think with him, when you read about Jimi Hendrix, there are things named after him. He was, for sure, he changed the game somehow.
Yes.
And he was different than anybody else. And so what is that? Like when you're 14, you pick up the guitar. But was that something that your parents were happy with, and like, yes, just become a rock star?
I think I didn't say in the beginning I want to be a rock star.
No.
I just like to play it and be in my self world, or in the fantasy world, because you can create something. So they support me, like they buy me the my mother gave me money for my first electric guitar and for my first amplifier, and it was a lot of money in these days. So she support me, and she comes to some my concerts. My father comes to my concerts, and he's 76 now, and he still sometimes come to our concert to see what we are doing. So this is interesting.
So they were not like, oh no, you need to get a real job.
No.
No. But you went to school. I mean, you studied some business, right?
Yes.
You were going to be a businessman.
No, I started to working in the shop with electronics because in the young days I was interested about the amplifiers and speakers and things like that, and I'm still is, but more to vintage stuff now than
the modern.
So I started selling this stuff like some hi-fi components, and later I started to sell some TVs and washing machines, and this started to be boring for me. So I started to searching for different kind of job, and I moved to selling the music instruments, which was more fun for me.
It's closer to you because you the whole time you're in music. I mean, you're playing the guitar. You start the band when you're 19, so
yeah.
But the music is always like a side gig in a way.
Yeah.
And you have a real job working somewhere.
Yeah, but when I working in the electronic shops and later in music instrument shops, so it was in the days when I recording some stuff with the band and play concerts. So it was only I need some money for living, but I was more mentally in the music.
But you studied some business, right? I mean, you have some business degree or business diploma or something, right?
Yes. So I was on the school which was like how to say on the I lost the word.
Business.
Sorry.
Economics and business.
Yeah.
But you never had a dream of becoming, I don't know, to work for some big company or
No. Actually, I felt everything this just boring me because I'm really mentally in the music. So this was like wasting the time. But you need money for living,
Yeah. Yeah. No one puts the money or food on the table except yourself.
Yeah.
But you then, you were you already, because you go from selling the instruments to selling the vinyls.
Yes.
But were you already collecting vinyls? I mean, did you start that early or?
So my first record when I bought it was when I was, I don't know, 13, 12 in the black market. It was small single record from Czech really progressive band called Pražský výběr. It means Prague Selection. And this band is still the one of the biggest names in the Czech market. It's something like I will compare a little bit. It's something like Frank Zappa or King Crimson.
Underground, little bit alternative.
Yes, but really great music with interesting lyrics. And they have interesting story because they recorded first regular album in the 1982, but it wasn't put on the market because they start to be controversial. and they can't play concerts. I don't know, 5-6 years. So this album,
Because of the communism.
yes. So they put this record on the market on the late 80s, but everybody knows because this record everyone sharing on the tape cassettes.
Yeah.
So it started to be really cult recording with the stamp of anti-communism kind of.
So it was an activist in a way, like or like you say, anti-communist.
Yeah, so because the communism government didn't want to put this album on the
And why
market.
was that? Well, because of the lyrics.
Because of the lyrics, and also because the concerts start to be, too much
Anti-government or
little bit, and also West kind. Every young people feel
free.
and they don't like it.
That's so crazy to have a government
Yes.
who is afraid of its people.
Yeah, and it was. It's strange because Czech and Slovakian in these times have the government which really hate the West music. And for example, in the Hungary, you can go to concert to AC/DC, Iron Maiden or Queen, but we haven't the chance, and we have big problems to, get these recordings. And
So this is your first one. This is the first one you bought.
yes,
But you had the tape before. You had the illegal tape before of the same record.
probably yes. I don't remember.
Yeah. And then but then did you decide when you were 13 I'm going to be a vinyl collector?
So we had some shops, like official shops, where you can buy some music, and sometimes they put on the market some good record, but it was like 5 records per year. So, and if you have luck, so you can find one of them to some shop. So I start to going there every week, and they probably, I don't know, save for me some because
They knew
they
what you wanted.
Yeah, because they saw this young guy. It's really interested. So
So you because for me, for example, I remember I bought my first vinyl when I was maybe 9. It was Kiss, Creatures of the Night, the one with the blue cover, and then I bought some vinyls, and my parents had some vinyls. My sister has. I have an older sister, and she had some vinyls, but then when the CD came, I immediately just jumped on the CD wagon. I threw away vinyls and stuff. Like it was crazy because I didn't see it as a value.
So when I was 17, it was a Velvet Revolution, and it was 89, and I think on the 1990 it started big boom in the Prague, like people opened the shops with the electronics. They start to bringing this electronics from Germany or somewhere, and you can buy the CD player, and they start to selling the CDs. And I bought a CD player in this 1990, and I bought like, I don't know, 2-3 CDs, but they were really expensive. And if you go to some second-hand shop with the music, so you can find very cheap records, especially with the Czech rock music. So I start to bought this records
on vinyl.
Old vinyl, because I had some money for some music, and And now these records some of them are really expensive.
But you stayed loyal, so you stayed loyal to the vinyl in a way.
Yes, because we had big second hand on the Prague one, which was full of really good music. They had many 60s, 70s bands what I was interested. Many bands which I didn't know about them. So I bought many records, like I looked to the cover and I saw like there is some long hair guys with a Hammond organ. It's recorded 1972. This
Must be
will
good.
this will be good, you know. And usually it was really good.
Yeah. But how many vinyls do you have today? I think you told me once 8,000 or something.
Something like that. I really don't count, you know. I don't know.
How much space does 8,000 vinyls take? I mean, do you need like a whole
So I have
room or is it
yeah,
like a garage or?
I have one music room where I have most of them, and others I have in the different rooms, and some I have on my cottage.
So it's everywhere.
It's everywhere, and I have also some CDs, not too much, like maybe 500 or maybe more, but not really big collection. And a lot of records, but I didn't count them. So maybe it's 7,000, maybe 9,000. I don't know.
And what is it about the vinyl? Is there a? I mean, I didn't know, but the audio quality is actually better than on a lot of other formats, right? Or
yes. So because there is much space for dynamic and also for range, like because CD it's like 20 hertz and 20 kilohertz.
So the music can be clearer on a vinyl. You can hear more sounds, or
yes, it can go
wider
deeper
range,
or
higher.
wider.
Yeah.
So you can hear it because normal people, I don't know, hearing from maximum to 16 kilohertz or 15. How it's about the age, you know. But the brain, it's have some
sensor.
So because it's on.
You can't hear it, but you have some sort of a receiver in the brain for it, or
so you can feel some, you know, emotion, and also.
So wait, so vinyl music goes deeper into the brain.
We can say
it like that.
We can say like that because it's analog recording. If we're talking about the old records, which is analog, and it's more natural for you than digital formats, because there are some compression and change the waves a little bit, you know, and things like that. So it's more natural for brain and for you. And if you have good equipment, so you can hear better things.
We will save your soul. You can feel so high, like a little child. We will shake your brain.
What I like about the vinyl is that it makes me consume or listen differently to the music, and I think when I switched to the CDs, what I started doing, because I didn't have a lot of money, so I always bought the best of. I bought the best of Led Zeppelin. I bought the best of Doors. I bought the best of, especially those older bands, you know, that I liked, but I didn't want to go and buy the whole catalog.
Mhm.
So you end up listening to the best of, and you have a CD which you can fast forward if you don't like a particular song, and you end up then you transfer into digital like Spotify or streaming, and then you end up creating your own playlist, which then will have the 5 most famous Led Zeppelin songs.
Mhm.
But what happens in the end, and I realized it when I started listening to them on vinyl, is that okay, there are 100 other songs or 50 other songs with Led Zeppelin that are amazing.
Mhm.
And there are even songs with Led Zeppelin that I had never heard.
Yes.
And I've liked this band since I was, I don't know, 15 or 14 or something like that. And that's what I like about the vinyl, is that you put it on, you don't want to be taking the needle up and moving it forward and so on. So you just let side 1 play, and then you let
Yes.
side B or 2 play, you know? So you consume the music very differently also.
Yes. And it was good thing about the old music, all the records and everything, because they should thinking how it's the song orders.
Yeah, the atmosphere.
Yeah. Um, if they put a slow song on the end, or
Mm.
because when you closer to end of the record,
Mm.
there is a little bit worse sound. So it's better to push there some acoustic song, because it will be sound better. Also, you should thinking like you have maximum 20 or 22 minutes to one side,
Mm-hmm.
because when you make longer, you can make it longer, but you lose the quality.
Mm-hmm.
So you should thinking about every these aspects.
Yeah.
Also, you should choose some opening track which catch you or hook
People
you,
interested, yeah.
Like the opening. So you should thinking about many ways
Mhm.
about the music, and it was like if these guys did album, so they thinking to details to make good record.
Yeah, because there was I was listening to something somewhere, and they were talking about it, that with the CT you had more data, so you could put 16 songs. But
Yeah.
when you put 16 songs on, it's very unlikely that a band can make 16 good songs. So if you look at the old timers, you know, the classic rock and you know, like the Beatles and so on, it's not 16 songs. It's 8, 10, 11, maybe 12 songs per album. I mean, the Beatles maybe had more songs because they had shorter songs.
Yes.
But if we take Led Zeppelin, for example, it's maybe 8 songs.
Yes, yes.
But if you feel you need to fill the CD, you start making shitty music.
Yeah. And also, you know, maybe you can have 25 good songs, but it's can be boring for people, because they don't push all energy to listen too long records. You know, this was better because you have 20 minutes for one side, and if you
then it's finished.
Yeah, if you are full of music, so you can finish.
Yeah. But how so collecting vinyls and this trade, to me it looks a little bit like, first I was the value of a vinyl has nothing to do with the quality of the music that is on it. It has a lot to do with when it was created, where it was pressed, where it was published, and there are a lot of interesting things in this. Like, I think you were telling me that some vinyls that have a misprint in the lyrics, or they have something on the sticker on the vinyl itself is wrong, or the order of the song. So anything that makes a vinyl different from its sisters and brothers of the same music makes it more valuable, right?
Yes, yes. Some very expensive records, for example, wasn't put on the market. Like they print that records, and between that the band break up, and the company things like we lose the money, so we destroy these records, and someone
Stole a tape.
stole some records, like you know,
10, 50,
10,
yeah.
100, something like that.
Mhm.
And these kind of records are really expensive.
And what do you have an example of this? Like some record that was never published?
How it's called? Band called Leafhound.
Mm.
It was old British classic rock, psychedelic rock band, and the singer later singing on the Atomic Rooster
Mhm.
and other bands. So this or Cactus band.
Yeah, I know that band. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is one of the expensive records. I think the last sold was on the internet around almost 5,000 euros.
For one item.
Yeah.
So this is like stamps or pen collector,
Yes,
someone
yes.
who is, and it's not the someone who buys this for 5,000 euros. He is not buying it because he loves the music.
He probably loves the music, but he wants to have something really special. Because you can buy some reissue of this record,
Album, yeah.
which is you can buy for, I don't know, 30 euros, for
Yeah.
example. But
It's
you know,
not the same,
original,
yeah.
it's original.
Yeah, but you have some expensive ones yourself. What is the most valuable that you have that has both? Let's say, because one thing is money value, another thing is emotional value.
Mm-hmm.
What's the most valuable one from a money point of view that you have?
Probably 2 records from Rolling Stones. One is, I think, first UK mono version of Beggar's Banquet,
Mm-hmm.
which is signed by Keith Richards and Ron Wood. And the other one, it's
And you bought it like that. You bought it with the signatures, or
no. I tell you a story, but I bought it. I don't know, on some. It was some book fair, and there was some antique shop between the sellers, and they had also some records, and like 300-400, and I bought their 3 or 4 first English pressing of Rolling Stones.
Wow.
So
This is like unbelievable. Like for a vinyl guy, this happens once in your life.
Yes. And it wasn't expensive, really. It was, I don't know, it's like 15 years ago, or maybe, or 12, but it was around 400 crowns. It's
it's nothing. It's like 15 euros.
15 euros. So it was cheap.
Yeah, because the seller didn't know what he had.
Yeah, so they thought like they have normal Stones album, but this was original first pressings.
Yeah.
So, and other one is Japanese pressing of Sticky Fingers, and these 2 records are signed by Ron Wood and Keith Richards when they had the last concert in the Prague. And I have a friend, and he is captain on the boat, and he had the Stones on the boat, not
sailing on the river here.
Yeah, only these two guys, but and he called me like, I need some records for signed. Some you give me, and some will be for you. So I give him my 2 most expensive records for my signatures, and give him some normal Stones for him. And he bring me these 2 records with signs, and he told me the story. Then he tried 3 times to catch the signatures, and there was bodyguards, and they said no
Nothing
way,
like this, yeah.
no way. And on the third time, the Keith Richards saw it, and he said, "Come on, I give him the signatures."
Mm.
And when he gave him the album
Sticky fingers.
so there is jeans with the zip,
Yeah.
and he started to make the signature, and he asked him, "Can you make the dick?"
Yeah.
And Richards look at him, start to smile, and make the big dick on the
zipper.
on the zipper, and right there, "One Love, Keith Richards." And this is something special because the manager of the Stones told him like he never do it this.
Mm.
This is something really special. So I have this.
So you have a Sticky Fingers Rolling Stones first pressing.
First Japan pressing.
Japan pressing with a dick pic from Keith Richards.
Yes, and
a signature, One Love.
Signature, One Love, Keith Richards.
And how much? I mean, this album was valuable before he made this. Would it be more valuable or less valuable now?
Normally, it's around 200 euros. It's not really expensive, but
with this picture on it, then it's
it can be maybe 1,000-2,000 euros more. I don't know.
This is the most valuable dick pic in the world, then.
So maybe it can be much higher. I don't know. I didn't try to sell it. I don't want to sell it.
No, and but how does it do? So you mentioned Japan, and I know you told me, for example, that Japanese pressings. So pressing means that an album is made. Let's say that an artist records an album in London, and then they send some sort of a master of that to Germany. They send to Japan. They send to the US. They send to South America, Italy, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the local company that the record company works with, they actually manufacture the album for the local market, right?
Yes.
So Japanese, because you mentioned that with this one, with Sticky Fingers, then you told me that the Japanese records are usually in a better condition.
Yes. Because it was the richest market on the world.
Mm.
So first I start, the records are really well done.
The pressings themselves.
Yeah, they have a really good kind of vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
And I should say maybe the best kind of covers, because the quality of paper, quality of print, colors and everything, it's unbelievable.
Mm.
And also some records have some special things like posters or books or stickers, things like that, which make interesting for some collectors. And other thing, it's the Japanese people they have different kind of
respect for it, or
yeah, and maybe kind of living style. So they probably didn't drink too much than people.
At least not at home, because when you go to Japan and you go to a karaoke bar, they drink a lot.
Yeah, probably, but not home.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for records from US or UK, for example, usually most of them are destroyed because people,
had them at parties,
have it on the parties and drinking and dancing, and the records are scratchy and dusty, and the covers are dirty or
wet, and
so very damaged. and most of Japanese records aren't.
Mm-hmm.
They are
take
in
better care of them.
Yeah, they are in the really good condition. And if you're thinking like you can find Japanese recordings which still have obi strip. That's mean it's very thin paper. There is some Japanese information about the record, but many of them still have this think paper in the great condition. And everything is on the great condition because a lot of people have these records still in the plastic cover.
Yeah.
Also, they have really good turntables because Japan was the
high tech.
high tech market, and everyone have really good kind of turntables. So these records usually are in the really great condition, and it's really interesting.
But and then there's a difference, like, you know, a record, the same music or the same album that is pressed in Japan and then it's pressed in, I don't know, like in Croatia or in Yugoslavia or something. The audio quality can be different, right?
Yes, but if you compare with East Europe, it's 100% much better. But I learn if you have chance to compare the sound from different pressing, I always doing, because you can find a better sounding record from Holland, for example, or from Germany, or from US. But you can maybe find the Japanese is the best sounding. It's
there's no one rule in this.
No. Usually they are really great, but not the best every time.
But I guess the most valuable records that, if we think about it, it must be like the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, and these kind of things. The mono version, the early versions that were printed in either in the UK or in the US, right? I mean, these, if you would look at the 100 most valuable vinyls of all times, they are on this list, right?
Yes, UK, US.
Yeah, because that's the original market. That's where the studio was. That's where, you know, the whole thing happened somehow.
Yes. And some of them are really great sounding. Maybe the best sounding version of the title.
But you told me also once we were talking about this, that, which I hadn't thought about, but so you here, like, we take Czech Republic, that's like a micro market. I mean, it's 10 million people, and it's not like a big music export market. It's not like the UK, US, Germany, Sweden, you know. But because of this, the mentality of the collector, you sometimes see, let's say, rare Czech folk music or rock music or blues music that was maybe made in 500 copies.
Yes.
And there are maybe 500 people out there somewhere in the world, or 5,000 people who really want to get this.
Yeah. And a lot of people is on the Czech market.
Buying from here.
Yes. I know some collectors and they are really focused on the Czech music. And some records it's very expensive because
the volume wasn't big.
Yeah.
Because I know it made me think about the stamps, you know, like I know that in Iceland we had some really rare stamps in the 70s that were made in very few copies, and these are very valuable and people are, you know, paying a lot of money for this. Because I think I don't know, I am collecting vinyls for a different reason. For me, I like to consume the music like that. I like to have the covers and like to see pictures of the band. It makes me dig deeper. It makes me listen to the whole album, not just 3 songs. And so maybe after some time I will get into this, that I will, you know, travel to Japan and find that one rare thing, you know, like on a pilgrim. But you buying for you, because now we're actually recording this in your store, and I don't know, how many albums do you think are in here?
I think it's 6,000-7,000.
Shit. So we are surrounded by vinyls, and I'm looking here at Frank Zappa, is Michael Jackson, he's being bad, and Bruce Springsteen is here, Elton John, Rolling Stones, Pink Floyd. Where do you buy this from? Anywhere in the world, or is it?
Yeah,
like
it's anywhere. I have some friends and they are collectors in the Europe. So some guys from Germany or Holland.
And you buy like a bulk, like a big box or boxes?
Usually, yes. I'm buying, 500, 1,000 records
Each time.
Yeah, and most of them isn't for me, and some of them it's for me, and I should pay this from others.
So you created the vinyl business to satisfy your own collection needs, and then you sell what you don't want yourself. Okay, that's so we can say that your life has somehow become all about what you love, which is music. Now you live from selling the albums. You have the bands. I know you're not just in those two bands. You're also involved in some other projects. There was some Queen project you were playing live in December.
Because we did audio visual kind of show where we talking about the history of band. We playing some video clips or some records, like examples what they did. And also we play live 5 songs with the band.
And that was Queen theme.
Yeah, Queen songs. And it was like end of this show, like make the, interesting, because normally you can go to show where someone talking really deep about some history of some band and then put the guitar and play some Brian May stuff.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, it's a very different way to give you a much more range of explaining the band.
Yes,
and
because people start to believe you when they see how deep you are
into it.
Into it.
One good thing about the Czech Republic is that there are rules and then there is reality, and so I managed to see you play in a concert, but so COVID hasn't stopped everything completely, but how is it? You haven't really been able to do as much live music as you would usually do, right?
No, because we have some limits.
How many people and
and we had some months where
nothing
was
allowed.
locked down and nothing was happened. And still is like it's not. You can go to really big concerts. So, for example, I have tickets for Kiss.
Yeah.
And now it's third date.
The third new date, because they keep postponing it.
Yes. So I'm waiting if will be.
But how has that affected you? Because I guess you played a lot more live before COVID was invented, and how can you make a living? Because part of your living was from playing music. Or you just made more on the vinyls because people were spending time at home and ordering vinyls?
Yeah, because I spent a lot of more time with the vinyls to prepare vinyls. I had a really big cellar full of records what I want to sold, and I didn't have time to clean them, prepare the prices and everything. So
kind of COVID gave you a chance to put a little bit more focus on it.
Yes.
But now you assuming that we will be allowed to to go out and enjoy life again and have a beer and go to see bands, because it's the same for me. I have concert tickets for Iron Maiden, Guns N' Roses, Aerosmith, Pearl Jam. All of it is this year, and it's all been postponed since last year or the year before. I have Elton John in Berlin, and it's in 2023. I mean, like, what's going to happen now? What are you working on? You were recording something. You've been recording something new, and
Yeah. So I'm working on the 2 albums. First is Red Baron Band album called Last Chance.
Why is it called Red Baron, by the way? I never asked you that.
Okay. So this name our drummer find on the Billy Cobham record. It's a record called Spectrum. It's a really great jazz rock, one of the 10 best jazz rock records all time. And there is last song called Red Baron. And he felt like, the parallel between Led Zeppelin and a Red Baron. It was like two names. But after some years, we...
Wait, how are these two connected, Red Baron and Led Zeppelin?
So we play classical rock. And all the most of classical rock bands had the 2 names, like Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple.
Red Baron, Okay.
And
because there was a German fighter pilot guy called Red Baron.
But in the beginning, we don't know. We were young guys without this knowledge.
Yeah, you're 18, 19 or something.
Yeah, and we can't look to the internet because you can't. So and after that, we also know, like, it was some band in the Germany called Red Baron in the 70s. It was more like pop band, but it was one. And other thing was in the Sweden was some like heavy metal band called Red Baron. So when we decided, so we put the other word in the name, and now it's Red Baron Band, because we try to continue, but
be different,
but be different. So from the first album, we are Red Baron Band, but in the beginning we were Red Baron only.
And now you're recording. You said, sorry, you were recording a new album.
Yeah, we're recording new album, and it's after 12 years. It's new studio recording because many things, some lineup changing, and and also because the COVID, because it's everything slowed down. So it will be normal times. So probably we have 2 years new album, and now we are doing something new. But now it's like this, and we will put the first single from this album probably this month, on the end of this month.
This is January 22 that we're talking here.
Yeah. So it will be a song called Victoria. This will be first single, and then we'll go to another's, and probably on the May will be finished the vinyl. But we will see how will be in the vinyl factory, because it's also different now than before. So maybe we should wait a little bit longer. We will see.
And then you have for 333. You've also been recording, and there you recorded with some famous people, right?
Yes, it will be like.
I mean, let's say more famous than you. You are already famous.
Much more famous than me. So it will be more blues rock record.
Mm.
And there will be some interesting guys like, for example, one who played on the original Woodstock festival.
That is playing with you on that record.
Yes, 2 songs.
It's a secret. We cannot say the names
No,
yet, but
no,
people will
because
find
it's some, I don't know, selling strategy, and so, and it's still on the, working.
Legal stuff and contracts and
Yes. So other guy, it's very famous singer and bass player from some classic rock UK bands, very famous bands.
So we're talking back to the Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, Black Sabbath days, kind of that.
Yeah, that's
type of music.
Yes, so.
Okay. So and these, how do you get in touch with those kind of people? I mean, how do you get them to record with your band? I mean, do you know do you know this? Because I actually seen pictures of you on Facebook, and I'm like, what the fuck is he hanging out with this guy? I mean, like some famous blues players and stuff that you seem to know all these people.
I because I'm on the music business long time, so I'm not really famous in the Czech Republic, but I know a lot of people in the background, so promoters and.
So you can get everywhere that you want.
Not everywhere, but
almost
sometimes when I'm interesting to see someone. So I like to go there to see some good musician to play in the Prague. So and I haven't problem to go to, I don't know, Amsterdam if I want to see someone really special.
But of the people that you met here, like, I guess you met a lot of, I mean, and now you recorded with famous musicians. I mean, how do you feel when you meet someone like who has, you've been listening to that person's albums and these kind of things? Do you feel like small? Do you know what I mean?
Not really.
No.
Especially, it's 2 things. One, it's when you meet someone and you have only, I don't know, 1-2 minutes to speak with him.
Yeah.
It's usually you don't have time to go deeper to say something.
Yeah.
So you usually you only can say something like, I really enjoy your show.
Yeah.
Because it was really great. I like what you're doing, and my favorite album is this and this. But if you are on the stage with someone like that, or recording something, and you have time to speak with them, so you can go more personally and more deeper, and usually you recognize like this is really smart, nice, smart guys.
It was interesting. There was a guy on my podcast a few episodes ago. He is organizing this Velvet Revolution celebration here. He's like a producer, and he has actually produced a lot, or been involved in the setup of a lot of concerts here, like Iggy Pop and stuff. And what he told me.
Is it David?
No. His name is Oliver McGillick. He also made some music, but I think David is I think he works with him, because I remember that name anyway. But he was telling me that what surprised him about these big superstars is that in the end they want the same stuff like me and you. Like after the concert they just want to relax, and so it's important for them that they have their favorite chocolate bar or something like this, and then if they're so happy for something so small, and I think we often put these people up as some sort of demigods, and we think that they are different. But in the end, as you were saying, when you actually get a chance to be around them, you feel that how human they are. Because you have 2 hands, 2 feet, 1 head.
I have experienced like a lot of these guys, also from Czech rock scene,
yeah.
you know. So they are kindly, and they can feel you like a partner of them. you
Yeah.
know. So
They
this,
don't look down on you, and
Yeah.
it's. But I think that is also very much rock. Every rock, when I don't know, when the techno started, there was a lot of drugs, ecstasy, and all this stuff, a lot of violence, a lot of problems.
Mhm.
Rock and roll, I never see problems.
Mhm.
You have the pit, maybe when there's a heavy metal or speed metal or death metal or something,
Mhm.
but that's part of the game. It's not like a violent thing. But rock music seems to be, I think people often think, oh, rock music, oh, they are bad people or something.
Mhm.
But they're actually some of the friendliest people you will find.
Yes. Also, some metal guys.
Yeah.
I'm not listening to much metal, but I know some guys, and usually they are really kindly.
Yeah, it's so interesting because maybe it's because the way they dress or their hair is long.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
in your case, you're scary because you have long hair, but but you're actually a really nice guy. But when I was thinking when I saw you play live, then you do a lot of guitar solos and you're good at it. And I could see you did even one when you had the guitar behind your head, and I was like, wow, how the fuck can he do that? But you don't see this anymore. Like, do you know what I mean? Like this style was very much back in the old days, the music that shaped you and me to some extent as well. Like you would have a concert where everybody would do a solo, the guitar player would do, and we still see it. I mean, there are, I think it was the Guns N' Roses concert, Slash did a guitar solo. I think on Kiss, the Tommy Tyer does a guitar solo. But you don't, I mean, but this was very common, like, you know, that the guitar player would play behind his back or do some tricks like this. Is it dying? Is rock and roll dying somehow?
I don't know. On the internet, I find many new bands which are influenced by 70s music, and they start to be sound like 70s band. So maybe some community is still alive, but I think the listeners, it's go smaller and smaller part of
The
population,
community, yeah.
because you know, in the old days you haven't internet. You have more time to focus to yourself, and you can listen to music, you can read the books, and now it's very fast
Yeah.
time where everyone you know, watching the everything, because you have many TV shows, many internet, many games. Everything is changed, and the young people are not too much focused on the music generally.
Yeah, I mean, there are more, as you say, there are more things that take our attention now than used to be. But yeah, but it's interesting because like rock music somehow from, let's say, from the Beatles until maybe 1980 or 84 or something, that was the music. Like, of course, there was folk music, there was jazz music, there was blues music, but for the mainstream, that was kind of rock. And very much diversity of rock, you know, soft rock, hard rock, heavy metal, all that, and everything between. But it's now, I feel like, yeah, I feel like it's a much less visible type of music than it was. And now I personally feel that a lot of the music that is being created there is one or two songs by some hip hop musician, and it's auto-tuned and it's all somehow so produced. There is no feeling left in it. And it's all
no human touch.
There's no more human touch left. And I think I don't like. I mean, of course, we are dinosaurs. We are old, two old guys talking about the golden days of tape trading in communism. You know, but but it's just interesting. And I when I saw you play, I was thinking, yeah, but you don't really see this so much anymore. I mean, or maybe you just need to look better for it. Maybe it's not as visible as it was.
Yeah, so it's some bands now which is really famous, like Greta Van Fleet or Rival Sons, and they are big, but they aren't big like in the 70s because the audience was completely different.
Yeah.
So
and they cannot throw televisions outside out the TV from the hotel room and stuff like that, because they would be somebody would silence them or try to cancel their music because they did something wrong. So you can't really be the same rocker now.
I don't know.
Anyway, so Paul, we're kind of finished. I just wanted, where could people follow your music? So I will put all the links in the episode description on Spotify and on my Facebook page, and also in I think you can also see it on Apple and all the podcasts. But Red Baron has a web page.
Yes, we have web page. We have YouTube channel. We have Facebook page.
So that's all Red Baron Band. If
Red
people
Baron Band.
put Red Baron Band, they will find you.
Yes, and 333 have only YouTube channel, and this band doesn't much matter about the popularity.
No, it's more for the fun for the people in the band.
Yeah, but you know, we playing, every gigs are sold out. But it's usually some VIP kind of
arrangement
concerts. So we are very well known between, I don't know, 1,000 people who like to go to every concert, but we didn't try to. Now we didn't try to break up and
to a bigger crowd. Yeah,
but who knows?
Yeah,
when the famous guys on the record.
Yeah, I have one of your records already. You gave me one of the 333 records, and that's gonna be my vinyl collection crown jewel. You know, I'm gonna sell it after 30 years for $1 million.
Yeah, because you have first pressing.
Yes, exactly. Okay,
limited edition.
Yeah. So Paul, thanks a lot, guys. Follow the show on Facebook, that's the Bla Bla Bunker, and on Instagram, the Bla Bla Bunker. And then please, review the show, give it 5 stars, don't give it 4 stars or 3 stars. If you don't like it, then stop listening. If you're still listening, then you obviously like it, so go and review. And Paul, have a great day. Thanks for spending time with me.
Thank you.
And I'll see you around.
It was a pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Fire burning down below. The politics and handbag around the water surface grow. A mess night right to burning lights go on the stations row.